Hey, this is Brian from Super Easy Toots, and in this tutorial we're going to cover more on assigning values to variables and incrementing and decrementing variables. So basically what I've done here is I've started out with this, and I know there's a lot of comments in here, I apologize about that. What I've started out here with is I've started out with an integer. I've named an integer data type P Manning for Peyton Manning. And basically what the premise is let's say Peyton Manning has 22 touchdown passes in the first 10 games. So we assign that value 22 to our integer variable named P Manning. So in game 11 he throws one more TDs. Basically we can increment this in one of three different ways. First of all, we can do P Manning equals P Manning plus 1, and what's happening is it's taking this P Manning value, which is assigned the number 22, and it's adding 1 to it to get 23, and then it's assigning whatever that value, these two added together, to P Manning. So it's reassigning a new value to P Manning based on what's to the right of the equal sign here. So let me comment out some of this a little further. And basically what I've done here is I've couted the variable name P Manning. This has some comments on it because I'll get into that in just a moment. But basically what we have here is P Manning with the incremental of 1. And I'm going to see out to show you that this P Manning 22 value has changed to 23. So if we debug and run, we see that we have 23 in the output. So there's the 23. Now the second way we can increment is by doing the following. This line right here. P Manning plus plus. Basically plus plus telling the compiler to add one value to the P Manning variable, which is at 22. Adding 1 obviously gets it to 23. This can only be done to add a value of 1 to an existing variable. So again, we're going to see out it, and you're going to see 23 in there. And again, we have the 23. So that's the second way to increment the variable P Manning. Now the third way is to do this operator, this plus equals. And what this is doing is it's saying P Manning plus equals 1 is adding whatever value follows this plus equals. In this case it's 1. It's adding this value to the existing value of P Manning, which obviously is 22. So we start with 22. Plus equals 1 is telling the compiler to add the value of 1 to 22. So I'm going to debug and run, and you're going to see we have 23 again. And there's the 23. The great thing about this last operator here, using this plus equals, is we can add whatever value. If let's say in the next game he threw 4 touchdown passes, we can do 4. So now it's going to do this variable value, which is 22, plus the 4, and set that equal to P Manning. So if we debug and run, we now have 26 in there. 22 plus 4 obviously is 26. So that's a really good thing about this. These two lines right here, these two operators, especially this plus plus operator and this plus equals operator, it's very good to know these because you're going to use these a lot in future programs, especially this plus plus. When we get into looping and stuff like that, you're going to be using this quite a bit. So it's really good to get used to this. If for now you want to continue to do it this way, because this is really simplistic, just take your variable name and add 1 to it, or add whatever value. That's fine for now. So now this type of operation can be done to all the different arithmetic operators. So what I've done here is I've created 3 different variable names, x, y, and z. They're all integer data types, and I've assigned them values. So x equals 1, y equals 2, z equals 3. Just to show you this you can decrement, just like we did up here with the plus plus. You can do x minus minus, and it's going to be decremented by 1, which you can see here. You can only subtract 1 to use this method for. Now the y here, I'm doing times equals. So basically whatever value is in here, I've assigned y. Might be a little confusing, but it's going to basically take this y and multiply it by y, which is 2 times 2, and set y equal to that value. I know it sounds confusing. And then what I did here with z is just to show you that you can do this with the division as well. So now we've got z, which equals 3, and we're dividing it by z, which also equals 3, so you're going to see a 1 here. And then I've done a cout statement to show you that all this operation has occurred. So again, we're expecting the value of x to be printed out here to be 0 because we've decremented this by 1. We're expecting the new value of y that we're printing out here to be 4 because it's 2 times 2. And then we're expecting the new value of z to be 1 because we're taking z and dividing it by z. So we're taking 3 divided by 3. So when I debug and run this, and sure enough we have our x equals 0, y equals 4, z equals 1. And to make it a little clearer, we can take this out and we can actually just put any value in here. I'll put 6 for now. So now we have y times equals 6. So it's going to take the value of y, which is 2, and multiply it by 6. That obviously gets 12, and it's going to assign that 12 as the new value for the variable y. We can also do that with this as well if we want to, let's say, do this by 1. If we want to just divide it by 1, obviously it's going to get us 3 back. But I just want to show you that you can change that, and that's the power of these type of operators here, and it's good to know them. So if we debug and run, and we have our values again. The x is still 0. The y has changed to 12 as we expected, 2 times 6. And then the z is 3 now because we're basically dividing 3 by 1. So these are, in summary, these are very powerful things. Again, I can't reiterate enough how important especially this operator is, because you're going to be using it a lot, even in advanced C++ courses.